politics over poll roll revision. India Bloc protests in Parliament. Rahul's "will come for you" threat to Election Commission.
I want to send a message to Election Commission.
Yes, sir.
If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it. Because we are going to come for you.
Tejasvi hits at Bihar poll boycott.
क्या वोटरों का साइन बीएलओ नहीं कर रहा? एक जगह बैठ करके हजारों लाखों फॉर्म भरे जा रहे हैं. ये प्रोसेस को ठीक मान रही है सरकार, यानी फर्जीवाड़ा हो रहा है पूरी तरीके से.
Chief Election Commissioner defends voter list revision. BJP hits back, says opposition backing illegal voters.
क्या ये हकीकत नहीं है कि आप ही लोगों ने शिकायत की थी हर बार लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद? महाराष्ट्र चुनाव तो ये लोग अभी तक गिनाते रहते हैं कि डुप्लीकेसी ऑफ द वोट, वोटर बढ़ गए, ये कर दिया, धांधली हो गई वोटर लिस्ट में. आप ही बोलते हैं ना.
Bihar electoral roll revision. That is our top focus on 5 Live.
Good evening and welcome to 5 Live. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday evening to India Today. I'm Pooja Shali. It's a big telecast this evening because we are going to focus on the showdown in domestic politics and the conclusion in international politics vis-a-vis the FTA. This has been a showdown of epic proportions. Leader of Rahul Gandhi making a direct charge against the Election Commission of alleged fraud, about tampering with regard to results in different states, especially in Karnataka. It's a showdown that's escalated and the charges are scathing. Now the Election Commission has put out a response. It's breaking now on 5 Live. EC scathing response to the LOP. Election Commission has said, and I quote it here, "Wait for the High Court's verdict." Why make baseless allegations right now is what the Election Commission is asking. Rahul Gandhi basically had also gone on to claim that not only do we have evidence of earlier changes or tampering allegedly with the results or the voting process, but there's a bid to steal votes in Bihar. Bihar is scheduled for elections this year, so he's brought in Bihar as well, and how, and of course has got support from the India Bloc leaders. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal is joining me for the latest on that. Aishwarya closely tracks the Election Commission. Aishwarya, tell us what the EC has said, because I think this is for the first time that such a direct, scathing charge has come by Rahul Gandhi against EC.
Well, we have seen, Pooja, this is not the first time that the opposition parties at the moment have been speaking about the fact that, they want the SIR exercise, and we are seeing over the past many days, continuous protest is being done by almost all the opposition parties. Today also, right at the Makar Dwar, we saw all of them united. In fact, we also saw Sonia Gandhi taking part in the protest. All of them are saying that this is not something that they want. They are saying that the Election Commission needs to stop it. Election Commission at every point has been giving out clarifications and has also been saying that this is a false narrative which is being given out by the opposition parties. They are saying that it is the opposition party itself that actually wanted clean rolls. They want those names to be removed. Those people who in fact have been voting not in one state but in multiple states. The Election Commission believes that this is a way to make sure that there is clean electoral roll that can come to the fore.
All right, Aishwarya Paliwal will be tracking all the latest on this. So here's what has happened. Through the morning, even though there have been consistent adjournments, but whether it's the parliament or the streets in Patna, Bihar has taken center stage. It's the electoral roll revision and charges against the Election Commission. And leading the charge, Rahul Gandhi on one hand and Tejasvi Yadav for Bihar, accusing the Election Commission of bias, lack of transparency. NDA says all of this is political drama. How is the EC now traversing around it? Let's take a look at the special report coming up.
I want to send a message to Election Commission.
Yes, sir.
If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it. Because we are going to come for you.
Down SIR! From the Sansad to the Sadak. Bihar's election season has now become a showdown over the revision of electoral rolls. And upping the ante today was Rahul Gandhi, who took his fight to the EC, claiming that the constitutional body has failed in its duty. The leader of opposition in Lok Sabha also alleged that there was 100% proof of fabrication by EC in Karnataka Assembly polls where Congress managed to secure a mandate.
Election Commission is not functioning as the Election Commission of India. Today they've made some statement. This is complete nonsense. The Election Commission is not doing its job. Now we have concrete 100% proof of Election Commission allowing cheating in a seat in Karnataka. Not 90%. When we decide to show it to you, it is 100% proof.
Rahul was not the only one to hit out at Election Commission. Tejasvi, who earlier hinted at boycotting Bihar polls, branded the poll panel a political tool of BJP.
क्या वोटरों का साइन बीएलओ नहीं कर रहा? एक जगह बैठ करके हजारों लाखों फॉर्म भरे जा रहे हैं, किसी और का साइन किया जा रहा है, अंगूठा मारा जा रहा है, अपलोड किया जा रहा है, कूड़ेदान में फेंक रहे फॉर्म। ये पारदर्शिता है, ये प्रोसेस को ठीक मान रही है सरकार, यानी फर्जीवाड़ा हो रहा है पूरी तरीके से केवल संख्या को पूरी करने के लिए।
India Bloc leaders staged a protest at Makar Dwar and disrupted the proceedings of the House for the fourth consecutive day. Lok Sabha chairperson Om Birla's requests to opposition MPs to let the House function fell on deaf ears.
जिस राजनीतिक दल के सदस्य हो वो राजनीतिक दल के लोग देखेंगे आप किस तरीके से सदन में व्यवहार करते हैं, तख्तियां लेकर आते हैं, नारेबाजी करते हैं, मेजे ठोकते हैं। ये सदन की गरिमा के अनुकूल नहीं है। मैं आपसे फिर आग्रह कर रहा हूं कि संसद की मर्यादा गरिमा को बनाए रखो।
These attacks from opposition came after the CEC had defended the exercise. Gyanesh Kumar asserted that a pure voter list is must for fair polls. The CEC also backed the move to purge ghost voters in Bihar. NDA has claimed that India Bloc's only agenda was to create hangama ahead of polls and backed the poll panel.
सरकार हर विषय पे चर्चा करने को तैयार है, बट अगर किसी को सिर्फ हंगामा ही करना है तो उसमें फिर कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता ना। पहली बात तो एसआईआर का विषय आया कहां से? क्या ये हकीकत नहीं है कि आप ही लोगों ने शिकायत की थी हर बार लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद? महाराष्ट्र चुनाव तो ये लोग अभी तक गिनाते रहते हैं कि डुप्लीकेसी ऑफ द वोट, वोटर बढ़ गए, ये कर दिया, धांधली हो गई वोटर लिस्ट में। आप ही बोलते हैं ना।
कल तक नेता विरोधी दल कह रहे थे कि भारत निर्वाचन आयोग कोई प्रेस रिलीज नहीं करता और पूरी तरह स्पष्ट है। इसलिए एसआईआर के मामले में ये लोग जो बार बार अपनी बात रख रहे, इसमें कहीं सत्यता नहीं है। सरकार स्पष्ट है, किसी अति पिछड़ा, दलित समाज, पिछड़ा, स्वर्ण समाज, किसी का भी वोट कटने वाला नहीं।
With Bihar election just round the corner, EC has clarified that everyone will be given at least 1 month time for any grievance redressal. But despite repeated assurances from the poll panel, the opposition does not seem convinced in any way. And so the showdown, both in the Sansad and on the streets, looks set to continue. Bureau Report, India Today.
So a scathing charge by Rahul Gandhi saying we will not let the officers of the EC get away, we are going to come after them, is what he has threatened. But of course the focus will be what kind of evidence does the leader of opposition have against the EC, as he is claiming that it's foolproof evidence about the tampering. I want to bring in my colleague Piyush Mishra, who's tracking all the latest in the parliament. Rohit Singh also joins us live from Patna. It's an election-bound state. Piyush, first to you. What exactly happened? Why was Rahul Gandhi so agitated? And why has the India Bloc come together to charge not at the NDA, but the Election Commission directly, now vis-a-vis Bihar?
Well, Pooja, this has completely become a political issue, and that's why we are now seeing as to how the entire India Bloc is speaking in one voice. In the last 3 days, continuous protests have taken place in Parliament, inside the House and also outside the House. Every morning at around 10 or 10:30 a.m., all constituents of India Bloc hold placards in their hand and they protest against SIR, seeking answers from the government. And the moment the House resumes at around 11 a.m. In both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, we see massive protest takes place, and because of that, the House gets adjourned. The Congress party and other opposition political parties feel that Parliament is the best place to raise this issue because Bihar polls are coming, and they want to tell to the people of Bihar that BJP-led NDA is trying its best to steal the votes via backdoor. They are attacking on democracy. The Election Commission of India is working at the behest of BJP. These are the allegations which the Congress party is now leveling on BJP-led NDA. On the other side, but sources in the government, Pooja, have made it very clear that SIR is an issue which Election Commission of India is dealing with. The exercise is being done by ECI. Government has nothing to do with this, and government cannot respond at the behest or on the behalf of Election Commission of India because ECI is an independent body. So the government has made its stand very clear, but opposition continues to raise this entire matter, seeking answers from the government.
हिंदुस्तान में इलेक्शन चोरी किए जा रहे हैं, ये सच्चाई है. Elections are being stolen. Maharashtra, Karnataka is what Rahul Gandhi has alleged, and now, of course, the focus is on Bihar. So let's go to Patna. Rohit, with this charge, Tejashwi Yadav has also jumped in. Whether it's Bihar Assembly, whether it's how the RJD is also reacting in the Parliament. What do you think is the RJD strategy? Because they have to fight elections. They may win as well. Why are they going on saying that this is deliberate witch hunting that's being done against them?
See, what the RJD or the Mahagathbandhan believes is that this entire exercise which is going on, and the last few days are left for this exercise to get over, the entire idea is to...
The role revision exercise.
Cut out the voters, to delete... the entire what they think that the entire exercise is the motive behind it is to delete the voters of the Mahagathbandhan, that is the OBC, EBCs, and maybe the Muslim community also who has been supporting Mahagathbandhan. So that is especially in the Simanchal area, and that is why we are seeing that Tejashwi Yadav has been vociferously raising voice against SIR for the last about 3 weeks or so. And today, in the last 3 days, we have seen that the House in the Bihar Assembly also did not function over the entire SIR issue. But finally, today, there was a 45 minutes debate that took place on the issue of SIR, with Tejashwi Yadav coming out and raising apprehensions over the manner in which the entire exercise is being conducted. Mind you, Tejashwi Yadav said that he is not against SIR, but the haste that we are seeing, the manner in which the entire procedure is being carried out. How come, how is it possible that in 25 to 30 days, 8 crores voters in Bihar can fill in their forms and the data can be uploaded? All these things, procedural things there he was maintaining is not possible. So that is why he has raised apprehensions and doubts about the entire exercise, and he's believed that the entire exercise was being carried out by the Election Commission just to help BJP, and he alleged that the Election Commission and BJP were hand in gloves with each other.
So that's the big charge,
for the Bihar Assembly
if
elections.
This is EC with the BJP, with the Election Commission, trying to even tamper with the state assembly elections, even though, remember, different parties have won different state assembly across India. Thank you very much, Piyush Mishra and Rohit Singh, and we'll keep coming back to you for all the latest reactions on what exactly is unfolding in Bihar and in Delhi. Now, this special intensive revision, the SIR exercise, you must have heard of this. These words in the past few days. Why is it in the center of controversy? Let me take you through the details. What the opposition is alleging is that the timing has triggered a suspicion. Critics are questioning what is the need for it right now, and therefore they are alleging political intent, especially from the opposition parties, the India Bloc or the Mahagathbandhan. The document norms are being seen as tough. Now, this, remember, is primarily not for everyone, even in Bihar. This is for post-2003 voters who are set to vote after 2003 or born after 2003, and therefore they must prove the parents' birthplace. Massive discrepancies, remember, though were detected earlier. Election Commission had flagged about 52 lakh untraceable, 80 lakh deaths, 26 lakh shifts, 7 lakh duplicates as well. And that this was a certain clearance that was being done by the Election Commission, especially with regard to a state that has seen issues of as much whether it is infiltration or the sort of immigration settlements that have come in. United opposition protest, India Bloc says the move is targeting especially not only the poor but deliberately minorities, migrants, members of the Muslim community and more. So therefore streets, whether in Patna or with regard to the parliament, have erupted. Rahul Gandhi, Tejashwi Yadav are leading the Patna march. Members of parliament are stalling a house as well. The focus now is on Bihar and the allegation is against the EC. Legal battle is being fought in the Supreme Court. PILs have been filed. A hearing is expected on 28 July citing violations. But that means the monsoon session right now are witnessing complete chaos vis-a-vis the members of parliament. Impractical deadlines are being suggested. Mass exclusions are also being stated, especially because of the season that we are witnessing and the changing weather. NDA allies are also uneasy. TDP seeking a CAG audit. The clarification that could it be a veiled NRC? Remember all of this because Bihar is an important state. High-stakes voter fight with the opposition warning that this roll purge or the electoral revision can hit minority votes. So it is as much about whether the exercise will be transparent, but as much about their specific vote banks as well that the opposition has been talking about. But is this an important exercise, especially if there have been discrepancies found by the EC? Nevertheless, a showdown now, and I'll be tracking all that and more in the days to come. From domestic politics now to the international agreement that has finally come in after years of rhetoric, discussion and deliberations. India and the United Kingdom have signed the landmark free trade agreement hereon called the FTA. PM Modi and his British counterpart, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, inked the long-awaited trade deal, marking what both countries have described as a turning point in bilateral relationship. What does it mean? The deal is estimated to boost over $34 billion worth of trade between India and UK on an annual basis. Prime Minister Modi described the India-UK Trade Pact as a milestone moment in bilateral relationship, highlighting how the agreement will help boost joint prosperity and aid job creation, both of course in Britain and in India. The British Prime Minister also appreciating the biggest British trade deal, he calls it, since Brexit, and that it will deliver significant economic advantages for both nations and employment as well. He adds that this will boost wages, raise living standards and put more money in the pockets of the working people. So that's how the British Prime Minister has been propagating about it. Let's listen in to the first reactions that have come in from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
मैं प्रधानमंत्री स्टार्मर के गर्मजोशी भरे स्वागत सत्कार के लिए हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। आज हमारे संबंधों में एक ऐतिहासिक दिवस है। मुझे प्रसन्नता है कि कई वर्षों की मेहनत के बाद आज दोनों देशों के बीच कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक एंड ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न हुआ है। अगले दशक में हमारी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को नई गति और ऊर्जा देने के लिए विजन 2035 जारी किया जा रहा है। यह टेक्नोलॉजी, डिफेंस, क्लाइमेट, एजुकेशन और पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट के क्षेत्रों में एक मजबूत, भरोसेमंद और महत्वाकांक्षी साझेदारी का रोड मैप बनेगा।
It is a deal that will bring huge benefits to both of our countries, boosting wages, raising living standards, and putting more money in the pockets of working people. It is good for jobs, it is good for business, cutting tariffs and making trade cheaper, quicker and easier. It is good for British workers in cutting-edge manufacturing, whisky distillers across Scotland, and the service sector in London, in Manchester and in Leeds. It is good for consumers because it will bring down prices on Indian goods in the United Kingdom, like clothes and shoes and food, and it will deliver benefits for the long term. It will add about £4.8 billion to the UK economy every year and £2.2 billion to wages and hundreds of millions of pounds to regions and nations up and down the United Kingdom.
So remember, primarily this will be about reduction in tariffs, both for India and the UK. And it's going to be on diverse sectors. Talk about soft drinks, to automobiles, to different sectors as well. And that is why it took so many years, literally, and different prime ministers, in fact, from Britain to be able to sit with Indian Prime Minister and be able to chart out this deal. So let's find out what's happening on this. I'm joined by our editor India Today Global, Pranay Upadhyay. Pranay, tell me, what does it mean between India-UK bilateral relationship? Why have both prime ministers focused on that? Of course, apart from the technical details of what and how the FTA deal will benefit India and Britain.
As the name suggests, Pooja, it's a free trade agreement, and the free trade agreement will enhance or increase the integration between the Indian and the British economy. And they both are big economies. Britain is a developed economy from the G7 country, and India is the fastest growing economy. Over the period of time, UK has realized that it's the time to invest in India, and that's why they have decided to go ahead with the free trade agreement. We know that post Brexit, as Prime Minister Keir Starmer also mentioned it, that post Brexit, this is the first big trade agreement UK has entered into. And also from the India's point of view, if you see, this is the biggest trade agreement India is entering into with any developing economy, especially from the G7 countries. And this will also pave the way for further negotiations as far as the India-EU FTA is concerned, or be it the bilateral trade agreement with India and United States is concerned. So this is a very important, achievement, a milestone in India-UK relation, and also the economic might of India, because India is a big economy, India is a growing economy, and what India is going to get in it. So India's textile sector is going to get benefited out of it, because the $26 billion is the market size as far as the UK textile imports are concerned. Currently, India is only exporting, say, about $1.2 billion worth of textile to UK. With the tariff coming from 20% to zero, now Indian textile products, be it apparels, be it handicrafts, be it carpets, all those textile sector products will get zero tariffs and will get a greater and a bigger market access. Likewise, in terms of the food process products, in terms of the agrarian products, in terms of the fisheries, marine products are worth the market size of the UK in terms of the marine product is $5.2 billion. And in many products, Pooja, let me tell you that what this FTA has done, it has brought down the tariff line from 70% tariff up to 0%. So like 70% to zero tariff is a great market access for anything. And likewise, the UK is also going to get benefited out of, with their products, not only in terms of the beverages you mentioned about, the automobiles you mentioned about, but besides that, the UK telecom companies, the UK construction companies, and also the insurance sector of India, of United Kingdom will get greater access in the Indian market.
Can we see this, and before I go on, Pranay, as a political partnership also? That speaks highly with regard to Keir Starmer coming in and then Prime Minister Modi, because eventually it's the two leaders and of course the bureaucrats who have to decide how to ensure benefit for both sides.
You're absolutely right, Pooja. If you see where both Prime Minister had a meeting, they did not meet in a 10 Downing Street, which is the formal residence of British Prime Minister, but they met in Chequers House, which is the countryside residence of British Prime Minister. This clearly shows that he wanted to go beyond the usual protocol. He wanted to receive Indian Prime Minister who was visiting in UK in a special location, and that is the place where the India-UK FTA was signed. Besides that, the political leadership has an intent to take forward the relationship to expand the scope and horizon of the comprehensive strategic partnership which both India and United Kingdom have signed some years ago. The Technical Security Initiative, which is a new initiative, which is just a year old, that was also reviewed by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Keir Starmer during this meeting, and it has been decided to expand the space and the scope of TSI. So this is also going to be very big in terms of the defense partnership, in terms of the technology partnership, in terms of the security and intelligence cooperation.
So different sectors where it can spread. Good point made. And I want to just take a look. Pranay, stay on with me with the visual of Prime Minister Modi by the countryside with Keir Starmer, both leaders standing, and we'll put out that visual now on our screen. Remember this visual. India, decades ago, was a British colony. Today, India stands as an independent, equal nation, in fact, an economy that is up high on the ladder, more than the UK, and is talking as two equal independent nations to be able to reach out to a deal. When many ask what has changed with regard to India, this image tells you a lot about it. So how does India then benefit from the free trade agreement? Let me take you through the details that have come in. These are inside details from the FTA agreement confirmed by our colleagues. 99% Indian goods are set to become duty-free in the UK. Indian firms are going to expand in the UK as well. Employment opportunities as much for the British citizens, but also business deals, prospects for Indian entrepreneurs. India-made electric vehicles and hybrids will get preferred access into the UK market. But India, as is being cautious, especially even with the USA, agriculture and dairy will continue to be protected. But here's what's interesting with regard to what's coming into India. Airbus and Rolls-Royce will be delivering aircrafts into India. Remember, some of the high-powered engines with regard to aircrafts have been from the Rolls-Royce and that are likely to come to India now. Then a huge dip, 15% to 3% now. What was earlier 15% to 3% now dip in India tariff on UK products. If there's whiskey, gin production, that tariff also will cut down from 150% to 75%. The business cost in manufacturing will reduce as much, benefiting India. What about UK exports? Increase in exports to India will also increase by about 60%. That will make the market slightly competitive too. Eventually, a bilateral trade rise by nearly 39%. I want to bring in my colleague from Business Today, Associate Editor Chetan Bhutani. Chetan, now you tell me, for the Indian viewer watching right now, wondering that what is in it for India, for Indians, are whether it's the public or the entrepreneurs with regard to the FDA. Take us through the details.
Well, Pooja, it's a win-win situation for both the countries. If I, start by talking about where the major sectors are likely to be benefited from. Remember, Pooja, in the processed food industry, the entry tax for the UK for India business owners, MSMEs, was about 70%. Now it stands at zero. Leather footwear, electrical machinery, headgear, glass, ceramics, textile clothing, ranging between 14 to 20 odd %, now stands at zero. Mechanical machinery, minerals, chemicals, plastic, rubber, instruments, gems and jewelry, arms, furniture and sports goods, all ranging between 2 to 20 to 40 odd %, now stands at zero.
Wow.
Well, talking about the marine industry, India, of course, is a very agri-sensitive market. But yes, India has opened up its marine industry to the UK. In fact, Indian Marine and Fisheries Department and of course private players will get more access to export their seafood to the UK. And in fact, considering UK is one of the biggest consumers of seafood, this will be a golden opportunity for marine exporters as well. Now, talking about electronics, Pooja, electronics is one of the biggest markets in India. Now, India homegrown brands now have zero duty access to UK and its subsequent markets, because we have many homegrown brands who, in fact, want to step out of the country but don't because of high taxes. They have equal amount of zero taxes for them as well. It's a win-win situation for the services sector. The big news coming in is a 3-year exemption for Indian workers, employees with no guarantee or no liability of social security as well.
These are very interesting points. So remember the kind of deliberations that must have gone on behind the curtains with regard to reaching these conclusions that benefits both the countries. Thank you very much, Chetan Bhutani and Pranay Upadhyay. The deal finally inked, signed and sealed, and we'll see how it progresses to other sectors as well in the days to come. Now, interestingly, while the focus was FTA, but both the Prime Ministers, in fact, especially Indian Prime Minister, spoke on some other issues as well. Pahalgam terror attack found a mention. Expressing gratitude to Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the strong condemnation against the April 22nd massacre in Pahalgam, sponsored by Pakistan. Prime Minister also made it clear that there is no place for double standards in the fight against terror. He also indirectly flagged the Khalistani issue, one of not just law and order issues, but much more than that, on the British soil, asserting that forces with extremist ideologies cannot be allowed to misuse democratic freedoms. And then there was a mention on the economic fugitives. I want you to listen in to all that Prime Minister Narendra Modi said vis-a-vis beyond the FTA and about national security and criminal issues.
पहलगाम में हुए आतंकवादी हमले की कठोर निंदा के लिए हम प्रधानमंत्री स्टारमर और उनकी सरकार का आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। हम एक मत हैं कि आतंकवाद के खिलाफ लड़ाई में दोहरे मापदंडों का कोई स्थान नहीं है। हम इस बात पर भी सहमत हैं कि एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विचारधारा वाली शक्तियों को डेमोक्रेटिक फ्रीडम का दुरुपयोग नहीं करने दिया जा सकता। Those who misuse democratic freedoms to undermine democracy itself must be held account. इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंडर्स के प्रत्यार्पण के विषय पर भी हमारी एजेंसी सहयोग और समन्वय से काम करती रहेगी। जब भारत और यूके मिले और वह भी टेस्ट सीरीज के दौरान, तो क्रिकेट का उल्लेख तो करना ही पड़ता है। फॉर बोथ ऑफ अस, cricket is not just a game, but a passion, and also a great metaphor for our partnership. There may be a swing and a miss at times, but we always play with a straight bat. We are committed to building high-scoring, solid partnership. आज संपन्न हुए समझौते और विजन 2035 इसी स्पिरिट को आगे बढ़ाने वाले माइलस्टोन है।
Okay, so it appeared, of course, the serious issues on one side. There was a cricket analogy as well by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to slip in the light humor. Pranav Upadhyay continues to be with us. Pranav, this is what I was talking about. Of course, there's an FTA business agreement, but there were other issues also mentioned. Why do you think Prime Minister Modi specifically mentioned these 2 to 3 key takeaways of issues vis-a-vis Britain and the manner in which it was addressed at this occasion?
Definitely, Pooja. In an informal setting, in the conversation, having cricket analogy or the reference about the curries. Besides that, there was some serious talks as well. You heard Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioning about the individuals, the people, those who have been using the UK soil, the British soil, and misusing the freedom of democracy, freedom of expression, and especially targeting India. Definitely, as a partner, India does expect we do expect UK to take action against those and hold them accountable for it, because we have seen in recent past, in the last 5 years, you have seen that anti-Kashmir protest or the post Article 3 abrogation of Article 370 from Kashmir, the kind of protest held outside the India House in London, how violent they became, and how they were fueled by Pakistan. So definitely, the Pakistan have been using the British freedom of expression, the British soil, and trying to misuse it, targeting India. Likewise, the Khalistani elements are also there. So definitely, that remains an issue for India, and that's why Prime Minister Narendra Modi did mention, not only in his conversation, but also during his media statement, that they should be, this is what India expects. Also, in terms of the economic offenders, it was 2nd of March 2016, Pooja, when Vijay Mallya left India and he went to UK. Since then, It's been 9 years. India has been waiting for it. We have already completed the India, we have already been waiting for his extradition. The legal procedure, the court procedure is already over. We are only waiting for the UK Home Department to execute those court orders to implement.
So that's where I think the aspect of further cooperation in different sectors that are also expected from India and from Keir Starmer as well. That's what India would be waiting for. Appreciate you joining us, Pranay, for all the latest on that. Now, while this press conference or the joint statement that was happening, our team caught on to a specific excerpt about what unfolded, and it also reflects on the presence of mind of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The translator started to struggle with certain words, started to apologize. Prime Minister Modi stayed calm and expressed support, saying, why don't you use some English words instead? Let's listen into what happened there.
और यहाँ के कंज्यूमर के लिए बहुत अच्छा रहेगा और ये दोनों देशों में जो बातचीत होगी, ट्रेड होगी, जो बढ़ेगा.
Don't bother, we can use English words in between. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, His Excellency, I've lost the speech.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Over a border issue, Cambodia and Thailand could be at war, or at least warlike situation right now. Thailand launched air missile strikes on Cambodian military targets after Cambodia fired rockets and artillery, which has led to civilian casualties as well. These are the visuals that have come in from Thailand and from Cambodia. Thailand's army says armed clashes with Cambodia have killed at least 9 civilians, injured 14 others. Hostilities have led both the countries to ramp up troops near the border. It already happened in June with the border deployment, but the tensions appear to later be easing out. Despite the de-escalation, these measures have been on. Export bans, Thailand threatening to cut off even electricity to Cambodia. Look at what's been happening in these two countries.
ก็อยากให้มันจบนะครับเพราะว่าต่อสู้ไปมันก็กระทบกันทั้งสองฝ่ายนะครับในความรู้สึกแต่ถ้าเกิดไม่ตอบโต้เลยมันก็เขาจะคิดว่าเราไม่มีอะไรครับ
泰国和柬埔寨两国都是中国的友好邻邦，也是东盟重要成员。睦邻友好，妥处分歧，符合双方根本和长远利益。我们对当前事态发展深感担忧，希望双方通过对话协商，妥善解决问题。从地区国家的共同利益和诉求出发，中方秉持公正、公勇立场，已经并将继续以自己的方式做劝和促谈的工作，为推动缓局降温发挥建设性作用。
Really, I think the border issue is not that dissimilar to any border issue the world over. This is how the world is made. We have borders, borders are disputed. There have been wars for hundreds and thousands of years. But the issue is, why now? What is the provocation? And that provocation now is simply Hun Sen's own power in his own country, which is being challenged, being tested, which is unstable. And he's hoping to use this radical nationalistic sentiment, channeling the anger of the people towards Thailand, provoking war and shooting and death in order to increase his own power in his own country. And he has been successful.
Joining me, my colleague Pranay Upadhyay for the latest on that. Pranay, these are definitely two countries one wouldn't expect in a situation like this, but it's after all the era of conflict as it appears. Thailand and Cambodia, what are you hearing from the ground? What is the trigger? What are the reasons? What kind of border issue are we talking about here?
Let me give you the latest update first, Pooja.
Yes,
Cambodia has asked for an urgent meeting of United Nations Security Council to address this issue, while on the other side, both countries have reduced their diplomatic relation, downgraded their diplomatic relation, both Thailand and Cambodia. Thailand has accused Cambodia for heavy artillery firing, and many people, including the military personnel, have lost life in Thailand and Cambodia. As far as this border tension is concerned, Thailand and Cambodia share around 815-kilometer long border, but the border points where these clashes happened is largely around the Bihar temple. It's a 9th century temple. It's basically a Shiv temple It's an old Khmer Rouge temple, and it goes, it has a long history. Because they both were the French colonies, and when Cambodia was French colony, the border demarcation happened, and thereafter Thailand has always been, resentful about the border demarcation. But as far as this temple case is concerned, Cambodia took the case of Pre Vihar temple to International Court of Justice and got the ownership of this temple. And since then, even the designation of Pre Vihar temple as the UNESCO World Heritage has become an issue of contention between Thailand and Cambodia. But what has happened recently, as you heard the Thai commentators clearly implicating the Hun Sen, the former president of Cambodia, but there has been political instability both in Thailand as well as in Cambodia. You know that since, even at the time when India and Pakistan were having border tensions during Operation Sindoor, even at the same time, Thailand and Cambodia were also facing the similar border tensions. They have moved their artillery and their militaries on the forward locations. So clearly this has been a simmering tension. But the immediate trigger was the incidents of 16th and 23rd of July, because Thailand has accused that Cambodia has placed new landmines in the area, which actually caused damage to the patrolling vehicles and patrolling troops of Thailand, and that was the trigger, and that's why Thailand said that they have carried out, targeted attack on the Cambodian military positions.
The situation definitely on the ground is looking like it's disturbing, and we'll be tracking what exactly happens in the days to come. Two countries with massive history. India has a cultural connect with both Cambodia and Thailand, but we'll see how this goes in the days to come. Thank you very much for now, Pranay, for the latest. Meanwhile, there was a tragedy in Russia's Far East. An aircraft carrying 49 passengers first vanished and then confirmed to have crashed in eastern Siberia. This is the Antonov AN-24 aircraft operated by Angara Airlines. It hit a hillside while attempting a second landing. The aircraft reportedly caught fire on impact. On board were confirmed 43 passengers and 6 crew members. Investigators suspect either a human error in poor weather or mechanical technical failure. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin has ordered a full investigation, also assuring compensation for victims' families. These are some of the visuals that have come in from the site. All right, I have an update coming in. It's a breaking news from the Russia aircraft. No survivors. Terrible. No survivors in AN-24 plane crash in Amur. The AN-24 aircraft that went missing first and then confirmed to have crashed. According to our information, because it caught fire immediately on impact, no survivors among the 49. Region was on a mountainside. Look at those images on your screen when the choppers went in, possibly for a rescue mission. This is 15 kilometers from the city of Tenda. Preliminary information suggests all are feared dead. Nobody has survived. Citing data, Russian news agency TASS also has reported all on board feared dead in Amur. I want to quickly quote from the statement. AN-24 was found on a mountainside 15 kilometers from the city of Tenda. Preliminary, no survivors as confirmed. The governor earlier had reported that there were 43 passengers, including 5 children. 6 crew members on board AN-24 first disappeared and then confirmed. I want to now take you to Ireland. There are shocking cases of racist attacks, unprovoked attacks against Indians that are coming in. This is from Dublin in Ireland, and it's a scary one, to say the least. An Indian man in his 40s was left wounded and bleeding, left to die, till he was saved by a local woman. Eyewitnesses said a group of local thugs stripped and brutally assaulted him, unprovoked attack, but it went worse. They accused him, and this was a false accusation, that he was preying on children. He was pedophile. But the eyewitnesses also said that nothing like that was confirmed. The disturbing incident caught on video has triggered outrage, hate crime investigation by Dublin police. Swift action against those responsible is being asked as well. It was one woman, and I want you to listen into this woman, a local woman in Dublin, who saved this man while there appears to be young men, possibly even teenagers, who went stabbing and attempting to kill. It also was a robbery attempt at this Indian man.
And I was driving over to my mother-in-law, and I saw maybe 30 teenage young fellas at the roundabout, 3 or 4 cars parked up, maybe 5 or 6 adults and one particular woman, all shouting. And then I saw this man standing there, completely dripping in blood from his head right down to his toes. His entire body was covered in blood, and he was pouring blood out of his head. He was attacked from behind by these, I don't know what you'd call them. I love animals, so I wouldn't call them animals. By these absolute scumbags. They punched him in the head with what I can only assume was a blade between their knuckles. He went down to the ground. He's badly injured, completely covered in blood. I'm gonna guess he's got massive head injuries because the blood did not stop pouring from his nose the whole hour that I sat with him waiting for an ambulance. An hour. I gave him a blanket out of my car. I gave him a pair of cycling shorts I had in the blue to put some compression on the wound. On the police claim, I got gloves. And I sat with him and I told him the whole time that he was going to be okay. And I was so sorry that this had happened to him. They stripped him of his clothes. They took his trousers off him. They took his underwear off him. They took his shoes. They took his phone. They took his bank cards. They took everything. 4 Indian men and another man have been facially stabbed by this gang of teenagers in the last 4 days in Tallaght. Now, how many of you knew that? How many of you heard about that on the news? So your teenagers from your area are going around stabbing innocent men in the face.
I have to add that Jennifer Murray is clearly a hero. She's the one who managed to save this Indian man who was literally left bleeding and to die. And that is why her eyewitness account and her help has not only saved a life but brought more awareness. We'll be tracking how in the past few days, whether it's Australia, Ireland or other places, there have been in different countries racist attacks increasing against Indians. And finally on 5 Live, what if you could travel from New York to Sydney or any other city globally in a rocket? Are airplanes said to become obsolete? SpaceX's Elon Musk is on a mission, it appears, Earth to Earth project, though pending approvals. He has said on social media site X, travel anywhere on Earth that's willing to allow loud rockets in half an hour or so at Mach 25. Is this what the future is set to look like? What could be the repercussions? Leaving you with these visuals. Thank you.